So this is pre-recorded pretty early, but this is posting the day after Christmas, so on December 26th. So I hope all of you had just a wonderful and blessed Christmas and you celebrated the true meaning of this wonderful season. Give me a moment here. I'm trying to get the video or the live feed for me anyway. I'm doing this in unlisted mode and scheduling it to post. And again, like I said, I'm doing this early. I'm actually recording this on Sunday, December 15th, so a few days earlier, trying to get everything done ahead of time so I can, as we get closer to Christmas, I can, enjoy that time and doing some other fun things. So for this now, even though it's the day after Christmas, I am still going to be featuring some Christmas slash, winter type projects through the rest of December. So being that this is after Christmas, I did do a bonus. I usually do like a holiday video, which would be Christmas. But I decided to also throw in another pre-recorded video also for Christmas Eve. And at some point between now and the 31st, maybe on New Year's Eve, in early evening, maybe I'll pop on for like a quick live or do something that's fairly quick and not overly done or anything like that. I don't know if I'll be doing any projects or anything, but if I can throw in that one extra video, then that means I end the 2024 year with my YouTube channel at 190 videos. Now, as far as subscribers go, I don't know where I'll be at that point, but ending at 190, an even amount to me, that's a progress. It's been a lot of work, but yeah, I want to continue to bring the content to everyone. So one of the things that I do, if you're new to my channel and you're here watching, on Thursdays, I do my Throwback Thursdays. So that means I pull out my retired stash of product, which I have a whole lot of, and I create two projects with it. Now, some of these stamp sets have never seen ink to them, which is very, very sad. So that's one of the good reasons of doing a Throwback Thursday is that I am finally using it. Plus, I've had a lot of wonderful feedback from people who thank me for bringing out the retired stuff because our products, it seems like some products, they don't last very long. They tend to retire after a couple of months, and sometimes maybe they'll carry over, so we have them for a little bit longer. But yeah, so they appreciate that I pull out the retired stuff, gives them a little bit of inspiration so they can go back and pull that out and play with it again. So for this episode, I am using the Nothing Sweeter bundle. It is the Nothing Sweeter photopolymer stamp set and the Sweetly Stitched set of dies. This may have been from 2018. Don't quote me. I've been doing a lot of projects, and to remember what year catalog they were in, yeah, I don't have that written down. But this is definitely an older bundle because now the stamp sets and the set of dies have the same name, and these still follow different names. Plus, Sizzix was still making our set of dies, which a few years ago, Stampin' Up kind of broke off um, their collaboration with, if that's the word I want to use, with Sizzix. So now instead of going through Sizzix to get our dies and our embossing folders, Stampin' Up goes directly with a manufacturer that actually makes all of the stuff. So definitely an older set. Now, what's nice about this one, this gives you these images, like if they're cookies, And there's some little decorative elements for it and some really cool greetings with mixed fonts in them. So let me get started. Let me bring out the bits and pieces that we're going to use for our first card. So while I have the stamp set here, let me pull out what I'm going to use. I'm going to use this snowflake here, an outline of the tree, and then I want the Christmas greetings sentiment. Now, with my two cards that I am making, my cards are actually, both cards are going to actually use that Christmas greetings greeting in them. You know, I didn't think of it when I did the tree. I could have, you know, used something else, but my second card, I used the gifts, and just some of these wouldn't have really worked, so I just went with the Christmas greetings on it again. Now, usually on my Thursday videos, there's also times I'll do a little bit of housekeeping, letting you know what things are kind of going on and what's happening. But I'm going to save that for my Friday Night Live. I do have links below this video in the description of some of the things that are going on. So we do have our last chance products thing going on. So that's not only stuff that is in the soon to be retiring holiday mini catalog, but also um, what's in our online exclusives and the kits collection. At this point, there's probably a lot of stuff that's gone now, but there's still more stuff. So there's a link that'll take you directly to that page in the online store so you can see what's left and what's going. Also, there's a link too if you would like to be on my newsletter list. I typically do those near the beginning of the months. And it has the whole schedule of all the products that I'm going to be using in my live for that month. So the next one would be January. Also, when I do in-person classes, that info will be there. Anything new from Stampin' Up, that'll be in there. So if you would like to receive that in your email, the link to access that is there as well. Let me kind of move. Um, Kind of like tilt this a little bit so you can see the whole thing there. Okay, so for my first card, I have a piece of gray granite. This measures 8.5 by 5.5. I've scored it at 4.25. I have a piece of the subtle 6x6 DSP. This is Lost Lagoon. Now, this DSP every year, every year, Stampin' Up! Always has these 6x6 packs of the DSP. They have like four different patterns, so four sheets, and this a set of two will have the same pattern on, you know, like on the both sides of the paper. I'm trying to get these words out where I make sense, so I apologize in advance. But every year with the new annual catalog, they'll retire this and then they'll come out with another pack that has more designs on it. So this particular packet is current as of right now. This is in our annual catalog. And Lost Lagoon is one of the colors in the Subtles pack. And so the whole theme of this card is going to be basically the gray granite and Lost Lagoon. So this is currently still available. And I went with the pattern that has the stripes on it. This measures 4 by 1 1/4. Then I have a piece of Very Vanilla. This measures 3 3/8 by 2 1/4. Ahead of time, out of the set of dies in that bundles with the stamp set, there is this particular die. Now this does not cut the scallop out. What it does, it adds some of the stitching on it. So ahead of time, I went ahead and I ran that through my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine just to give that stitched detail on the bottom of that piece. And then I have a couple of scraps. So my scraps are Lost Lagoon and Very Vanilla. And the ink colors that I'm using on this one is Gray Granite and Lost Lagoon. Excuse me. Okay, let me kind of get started here. So I'm going to take my card base. I'm going to fold and burnish that. Okay. And then I am going to bring in the Snowflake and my Gray Granite ink. I'm also going to bring in my Stampin' Pierce mat. Since these are photopolymer, they don't have the foam cushioning on them like the red rubber stamps have. So using this piercing mat, it gives a little bit of cushion for the stamp, so I get a better stamped image when I am stamping. It's especially true like on those stamps that have a lot of, how can I describe it? So these more solid type of stamps like this, uh, it stamps a whole lot better if you have some kind of foam cushioning underneath your cardstock when you're stamping. Okay, so for my snowflake, let me kind of put this somewhat in the direction I want it. So I'm going to randomly stamp this on my card base. So I'm going to start and I'm going to stamp, let's see, we'll do one down here. To start this off, I'm doing, want to try and have an equal distance. So that's why I started with the top and the bottom. And then from here, I'm going to kind of go in between. And I just stuck my finger in the ink. And then we'll add a bit here and a bit here. Then we'll do another row. Once you get that first row on there, then it's pretty easy. And I'm not worried about if it's not straight, because there's a good portion of this that's going to be covered up with the DSP and that Very Vanilla piece. Okay, so we'll add one there. You just want a little bit of interest here on our background. Okay. And then what I may do here, may just add a little bit the edge of that snowflake down on this side. Like so. Okay. Then I am going to take my DSP. Let's move this out of the way. And I'll bring in my liquid glue. Add some glue to the back of this. And I'm going to add this right about here. I want to try and get it straight. Make sure my card base is straight. I'm going to scoot that over just a little bit. Whoa, and it moved. Wasn't supposed to move. Okay. Then I'm going to take, let's see, what's next. I'm going to set that aside, close up the glue, and then let me bring this back in. I'm going to bring in Okay, so we have our pieces here. So on this piece of Lost Lagoon, I'm going to bring in my Lost Lagoon ink, and I'm going to bring in that outline of this Christmas tree. So like if you were doing like say like a card that had cookies on it, this would be the icing. This would be the image that would mimic the icing that would be on your cookie. And of course I'm getting ink on the block as well, so we won't rock that, but I'm going to stamp that right here in the middle of my cardstock. And then I'm going to close this up because this is the only thing that we're stamping in this color. Now, ahead of time, now in the set of dies, let's see, where's my dies? Pull out the dies. So in here, in person, I don't have like those magnetic sheets for these. So let me quickly try and do this where I'm not taking up so much time. So in the set of dies, you have an outline that will die cut this like so. And then also there is a detail die as well that has this stitching around it. So for this piece, I would take this stitch part here and well, first I would line the outline up, and then I would center the stitch piece in there like so. And then I would run it through my die cutting machine all at the same time. So to save time, I had gone ahead and I had stamped and I had die cut it, and you can see that little stitch detail that is in that die cut as well. So let's put that aside. Okay, and then on this little piece of Very Vanilla, I'm going to bring in this snowflake again. And I'm going to stamp this like so. Okay, and then with this stamp set also, there is a die that will die cut that snowflake, which I have done ahead of time as well. So there is our snowflake. And then on this piece here that I had done that stitched scallop die, I'm going to bring in the greeting that says Christmas Greetings. And I'm going to ink that up in my gray granite ink. And then I'm going to stamp this right above that scallop. And I'm going to try and center this like so. Okay. And then let's get this out of the way. Then I'm going to take, what am I going to take here? Let's bring this stuff in. I'm going to take my Christmas tree here, and I'm going to add some liquid glue. Now, I'm going to try to avoid these areas that it doesn't look like it cut through, but I don't, if there's any slits from that detailed die, I don't want glue to come out from those. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to center this like so. And I'll stick that down. Make sure that's straight. Okay, and then I want my snowflake, and I'm going to bring in my dimensionals for that. Let's see. Use one of my regular sized ones, put that right in the middle of my snowflake. And then my snowflake is going to go right here, like so. And then I'm going to add some more dimensionals on the back here. And I'm going to bring these in. These are just some edge pieces. And I'm going to cut some of these and add that to the back. And then I'll cut some more. The edge pieces are just as good as all those little hexagons, and we don't want to have any waste. We're going to use all of our dimensionals here. And we'll add this piece here just so we don't have it all saggy in the middle. Okay. All right, and then this, I'm going to layer this partially over that DSP. And what's nice, this DSP has these lines, so I can use that to kind of line this up. Okay, and then one more bit of embellishment for this. I have, these are the Earth Tones Shimmer Gems. These are in our Holiday Mini Catalog. Now, at the time that I'm filming this, I think these are, I don't know if these are part of the last chance list, so they could be carrying over into the online exclusives. I'm not 100% sure if they are on that list. Whether or not they're still available at the time that I'm doing this video, that's another story too. So that's one of the things when you do things ahead of time, you know, you just don't know. So one of the colors in here, so there's a copper clay, a garden green, this is basic beige, and then these lighter ones, this is very vanilla. So I'm going to take one of the larger ones and I'm going to place that right in the center of my snowflake. So there is our first card. So let me bring in the items for our second card. Okay, so this one entails some coloring. There's some parts that I've already done ahead of time. Let's see, I'm going to set that aside and move some things out of the way. Okay, so for this one, I have a piece of basic white thick that measures 8.5 by 5.5. I've scored it at 4.25. I have a regular piece of basic white. This measures 5.25 by 4. And ahead of time, I have embossed it using the Forever Plaid 3D embossing folder. I believe that, I think this is carrying over. I don't think this was included on the last chance list. This was part of the reindeer suite that's in the Holiday Mini. It looks like too that the peppermint embellishments and that red and white baker's twine, both of those look like they are not on the last chance list. So the peppermints were definitely one of the more popular embellishments because it kept on going on back order. So it's supposed to be back in stock the week of December 23rd, just before Christmas. So looks like you'll still be able to get them past that catalog. So again, ahead of time, I had embossed this piece of basic white using that embossing folder. I then have a scrap of basic white and then another scrap of basic white, and I have die cut that using the Deckled Rectangles dies. Now, the Deckled Rectangles along with Deckled Circles they were in a catalog in last year's annual catalog. And when that catalog retired, these and the circles moved over into the online exclusives. As of right now, well, at the time that I'm filming this on December 15th, the deckled rectangles and the circles have both completely sold out. So this is now officially a retired item. So if you don't have the dies, you can always cut this out, and the size of it, let me see if I can get, it's about just a little bit over 2 1/4 and 2 1/4 by 1 inch. So if you don't have these dies, you can always just cut it out to those dimensions. So I'm going to start off, let's fold and burnish this card base. Okay, and then I'm going to bring in my liquid glue, and I'm going to add this embossed panel onto the front of my card. Oops, and let's not get glue all over on the edge. Okay, and of course I got glue all over me. And then we're going to center this right onto our card base. And try and get this, whoops, sliding all over the place here. Okay, press that down. Okay, I will set that aside. Okay, close up the glue because we're done with that. Okay, so then on this piece here, let me bring in my Stampin' Pierce mat again. And on this one, let me claim my stamps really quick because I do need one of these stamps. I apologize for that. That was kind of loud. All right, so then I'm going to bring in my Memento Tuxedo Black ink, my Granny Apple Green ink. I'm also going to bring in my Light and Dark Poppy Parade and my Light and Dark Granny Apple Green blends, along with the Color Lifter. And also for our embellishments, we're going to use the Iridescent Pearls Basic Jewels. These are currently in our annual catalog, so you can still get those. Okay, I think that's all of that I need. All right, so then I'm going to take the Granny Apple Green ink, and I'm going to do my Christmas greetings. I'm going to ink that up. I'm going to stamp that right in the middle like so. Okay, I'll set that aside. We'll close this up. And then let me grab the stamp that I need. So I'm going to be doing the presents, but I'm only going to be using the outline of the gift along with these 2 stripes here, which is actually the ribbon that comes down the front of the gift. Okay, so let me get my blocks for this. Okay, so then on this scrap piece, bring in my Memento ink. I am going to stamp the present 3 times. And I just stuck my finger in the ink again. I guess you're not really stamping unless you do that, right? Okay, and then this double stripe here, I'm going to ink that up. And I'm just going to line that up over the knot of that bow and then stamp this on the front of the gift. Like so. Okay, now let me close this up. Okay, so we're done with that. And of course, when you use black ink, I really ink that up because I want to get like a really nice crisp inked image. The best way to get that is with Stays On. However, Stays On, when you use your photopolymer stamps, the problem with that is that that black ink is not going to come off of your stamp. Now, we have Stays On Cleaner. I want to suggest that you don't use Stays On Cleaner to clean it up. The reason why is, say for example, on this greeting, if I decided to use my Stays On ink to stamp my Christmas greetings. If I came over this with my Stays On cleaner, what happens, that black then gets on all of the area that's, you know, around the greeting itself. And what happens, this whole entire stamp is going to end up being black, and you're not going to be able to see through this stamp anymore. Now, the other thing too with the Stays On cleaner and photopolymer, you don't ever want to leave that cleaner on your photopolymers, because that Stays On cleaner is petroleum based, and when you use it with photopolymer, it's going to cause the photopolymer to break down. So say if you did use Stays On ink and you use the cleaner on this, then soon as you do that, you need to wash this off with some warm soapy water to remove all residue on there. But for your best bet, I would just suggest, if you're going to use this with a Stays On ink, you know, you use your regular stamp cleaner with it, but do not take the Stays On cleaner to it, because like I said, it's going to just smear that black on the whole entire photopolymer, and it's not going to look good at all. But then it's, you know, your words in your greeting are just going to be, it's going to be permanently stained with the black. So that's why usually I'll go and just use the memento. Now, if you have any parts in your stamp part that, you know, isn't fully, like you can see there's some areas here where it may be a little bit faded. In that case, you can go back over it, maybe using a black Stampin' Right marker, and you can kind of darken that up as well, if that's the case. All right, so let me show you what I did for the coloring of these gifts. So I'm going to bring in my light Granny Apple Green, and I am going to color the actual gift using this color. So we're going to do a couple of techniques with this to make these gifts look a little bit different. Give it some definition, some patterns on it. So I'm going to do the gift here, like I said, in my light Granny Apple Green. And I'm making sure I have a nice coating of the color on here. Go over this again. Okay, and then on one of the gifts, I'm going to do the ribbon part here in my light Granny Apple Green. Okay, and then let's do the bow. Okay, and then do this side. Okay. All right, and then I'm going to come in with my light Poppy Parade blend, and I'm really hoping that this is going to hold up for me, because when I was using it, it seemed like it was on the verge of becoming dry. And of course, I don't have an extra set of this color. I did add it to an order that I will be placing at some point. So I'm going to color this bow in. And when you're coloring with the blends, when you start to hear that marker squeaking when you're using it, that's usually a sign that it's on its way out. Okay, and then let's see. Let me close this until I know what I'm doing next. Okay, so then on this gift here, I'm going to color the gift part. Yeah, see, you can see that it's starting to go out. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm just going to let this sit like this for a moment, and I'll go back and I'll finish coloring that one. This one here, this one's the gift part is going to be colored in the light. So what I'm going to do with this one, I'm going to color the ribbon using the dark Poppy Pearl. Again, on these, I'm not worrying about adding any shadows to it because I'm going to be adding some other elements into the coloring. So I'm not going to worry about doing that extra step. Okay, so now that I've done that, I'm going to come in on this green package here, and with my marker, I'm just going to add some stripes of my dark Poppy Parade over that ribbon. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same thing on the bow part. Like so. So adding something a little bit different to that. And then, let's see. On this one package, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take my dark Poppy Parade, and I'm just going to outline this area here. Now, normally I would have colored the light Poppy Parade first and then went over with this. But I'm going to let that light marker kind of stand on its end. Now, when you have markers that have dual tips to it, the way you want to normally store is you want to store it horizontally so you don't have all the ink down at one end of your marker. But in this case, that marker is kind of like on its way out, and I just need it to finish up this this project. Okay. All right. So then we'll close that up. And then let's see, do I have anything left in this? Let's see. Okay, and do this side. Okay, let me see what the brush tip looks like on this. Yeah, it's still a little dry. So I'm going to let this sit again for a little bit. All right, then I am going to take, this is the color lifter. So I want the bullet tip of this. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take on my Granny Apple Green gift. I'm just going to put that on there for a moment. And what it does, it not so much really lifts the color, but it kind of pushes the color away. And so I am adding a couple of dots on here, and I'll do this other side as well. And to make it look more white, what I'll do is I'll go back over these spots again. Okay. And then I'll close this up. And then I'm going to bring in my dark Granny Apple Green. And I'm going to add, use the bullet tip. And I'm just going to hold it there for a moment. And I'm going to add my dark Granny Apple Green dots. So we're creating our own wrapping paper for this card. Now on this ribbon and bow on this one, I'm going to just add some dots on this part. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the bow. And a couple on the inside, like so. So we're adding some design to our packages. All right, so now let me try and add more of the light. Why did my, hold on a second. Okay. My laptop kind of like, the screensaver kind of popped on it. Come on, marker, we're almost done. Okay, I gotta let this sit a little bit because I do want to add a little more color to this, so that way I can do kind of like a similar technique as to what I did here. Now, these two packages here, they're done. And once I had them all colored, I had gone and I die cut them already. So here is our green package. And then on the other one here, there is that one. So these are completed. This one I want to go back over again because again I want to show you the technique. Now on this one, basically, let's see what I can do here. If we can get more of my marker here to color, because I do want to have a nice kind of like a heavy layer of the ink on here. So when I go to do that technique with the color lifter, it'll look a little bit better. I think we're okay. I think we managed to get as much ink as we can out of that. So let me put those, get those out of the way. All right, and then I'll let this dry a little bit. I'm going to move this away to do that. Okay, and then I'm going to come in. I'm going to do the same thing like what I did over here. I'm going to use the bullet tip of my color lifter, and I'm going to hold it on there for a couple of seconds, kind of move it to the next spot, and then I'll be going back over these again. I'll put the dots on this side, then I'll do the other side, and then I'll repeat the process a total of 3 times, so that way you can really see the white of these dots on this red package, because right now it looks kind of pinkish or orangey like. So I hope everybody had a really nice Christmas. I can't exactly tell you how my Christmas has been because I am filming this before Christmas, so fortunately I can't read into the future, but I'm sure I'm doing something that I enjoy doing and I'm having fun and relaxing and enjoying the holiday. Because I know doing these videos, the pre-records and all that, and the Friday Night Lives, there's a lot of work that goes into designing the projects I'm going to do, and then of course writing everything up and getting the videos posted, scheduled, going live, and all that wonderful stuff. Last year I did a lot, and I just felt like I didn't really get to enjoy the holidays because I was just so busy making cards. So this year we had our women's Christmas dinner. I made the 100 of the little jingle bell ornaments. We got that done. I still got the scar here, or the little mark of where I burned my hand on the glue gun. That was in working on the last 20 of them. Okay, so that looks good. So now we have our white spots there. And then I'm going to bring in the dark Poppy Parade, and just like I did on that other Granny Apple Green gift, I'm going to do the same exact thing. I'm going to add some of the dark Poppy Parade. Okay, so just with some coloring using the color lifter, we have some nice design on our gifts. And again, this one too, I already completed it and die cut it ahead of time. So now let's assemble our card. So I'm going to take dimensionals and I'm going to add that to the back of my gifts. I'll add 3 of them on there. Okay, this is going to sound kind of crazy on me saying this. So I live in an apartment, okay? I'm on the first floor, someone lives above me, and right outside my bedroom window, Okay. I mean, my apartment, it's a nice size, but I can still hear things, you know, whether I'm like all the way in the back of the apartment, I can hear what's happening out in the breezeway outside my door and all that. Um, but outside my bedroom window, which my bedroom is right next to this room here, um, my air conditioning unit is right outside my window. Plus, the person that lives above me, their unit is right next to that. Well, when the AC kicks on, I can hear the humming and the buzzing come through my utility closet that has my water heater and my furnace. And I just heard that AC kick on. Now, I can't tell you exactly what the temperature is right now. Well, wait a minute. Yes, I can. All right. According to this, it's saying that it's 61 degrees. Okay, well, but still to have, wow, I'm really behind here. I'm looking at, okay, hold on one second. I'm looking at my laptop as I'm filming, and I was showing way behind. I was still coloring these gifts. How crazy is that? All right, let me take these backings off of my greeting piece. And yeah, so their AC unit has kicked on. There was an evening where it was, what was it? It was like 37 degrees, but it felt like, oh, what did it feel like? Like 20 something. The AC unit kicked on. I am not kidding. My friend thought, well, is the heat tied into it? And I'm like, no. And so when my heat kicked on, I took her to my window and I said, now look at my AC. Do you see that fan moving on top? No, so it's not tied to it. So I was just like really, really floored that I'm hearing their AC go off and it's December 15th now. It's 61 degrees, okay, but it's not raining at the moment, okay? You're on the second floor. You can always open the window. I mean, I mean, I don't know. Why pay more on your utility bill if you don't have to? That's how I look at it. I mean, I'm on the first floor, so it's not, you know, I can only really open those windows during the daytime. So other than that, I would have to put my AC on, but it's wintertime, so that AC is not getting turned on until it actually gets warm. If it gets a little warm in here, I have fans I can turn on. All right, so I'm going to take this gift and I'm going to place these. I'm not worrying about having them straight at all. I want them a little wonky like this. And let's take this one off. Okay, and then I'm going to place this one kind of like in the middle like so. And then I'm going to press these all down. All right, and then I'm going to bring in my Wink of Stella, and I'm going to add the Wink of Stella onto the ribbon parts of these gifts. I'm not going to worry about putting it over the actual package part. Again, when I use Wink of Stella on areas that I've colored with my Stampin' Blends, it just makes those colors a little more vibrant and they pop along with the blingy sparkles from it. Love Wink of Stella. So much neater than using actual glitter. And you kind of get the same effect. All right. One more bit of embellishment. So again, I mentioned I was using the Iridescent Pearls Basic Jewels. And these are in our annual catalog. I'm going to, there's two different sizes. We have large and we have small. So I'm going to use one of the large ones. and then two of these little tiny ones. Okay, there we go. So there is our second project using the Nothing Sweeter bundle. So there is basic our basic white card, and we just have that pop of that red and green there with the packages. And we did a fun little technique using the Stampin' Blends and the color lifter. So there was our second card. And then here is the first card that we did using Gray Granite and Lost Lagoon. So kind of a more subtle looking card. So I hope that you like the projects that I made in this Throwback Thursday episode. If you like the projects, please give the video a thumbs up. And if you haven't already done so, please subscribe to the channel. It not only helps me in growing my channel, but then it also helps me in growing my Stampin' Up! Business as well. So again, I hope everyone had a wonderful Christmas, and now we're working on our way to into the new year. It'll be here like that. I mean, time just seems like it's been flying. So again, I am going to be live tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. I hope that you'll be able to join me. If not, the replay is there as well. Let's see what else is happening. On New Year's Eve, I may just pop on, say hi or whatever. Just what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get my video count up to 190 by the end of the year. So I need to throw in an extra video on top of all the other ones that I have done. So I may do that on New Year's Eve. So other than that, like I said, there were some housekeeping things. I didn't want to take the time at the beginning of the video to really talk about them or show you the graphics for them. There are links to them in the description of the video. Also, if you're not working with another demonstrator, you're here in the US, and if you would like any of our current or our new and upcoming catalogs, feel free to send me an email with your name and mailing address. Let me know which catalogs you would like, and I will get them mailed out to you. Also, there's a link to my newsletter if you would like to sign up for that. I typically only send out one a month near the beginning. Typically, it's like that first Tuesday when we know when there's going to be some new kits in our kits collection. Every month, there's two new ones that are added, and I like to include that information. My newsletters also have a whole list of all of the products, the whole video schedule of what I'm doing for that month, and any in-person classes that I may do. I'll have that info out there along with any other Stampin' Up! News that's there as well. And come January, we got Celebration starting. So, of course, there's going to be info about the new catalog and Celebration. And, of course, there's a joining special and all that other wonderful stuff. So, all of that will be in my newsletter. So, if you're interested in that, the link for that is in the description. Other than that, I hope that you can join me tomorrow night with my Friday Night Live, again, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. And until then, everyone, have a blessed one. Bye bye.